All right, hey everybody. Today I'm going to show you how to propagate purslane from cuttings. And so you can see purslane is this beautiful succulent plant. It is a cascading or a trailing plant that is considered to be an annual, and I think that that's an annual pretty much in my zone because it gets cold here and it's not really a cold hardy plant. But I do think it will act as a perennial if you live in a warmer zone than where I live. And so you can see though, right, it has these large succulent leaves and shoots, as well as some really pretty flowers. It's a pretty fascinating plant. I just saw it at the store for the first time and I kind of fell in love with it. And anyway, so let's take a look. It's also a vigorous grower that should be able to be propagated relatively easily. And so that's what we're going to do today. In terms of a potting mixture, because it is a succulent and it's going to like to be relatively dry, I have a mixture of the potting mix with sand, and you can see it even has a kind of a sandy look to it. It's a little bit pre-moistened here, and I'm going to thoroughly wet it once we put the cuttings in. So there we go. It isn't quite filled to the top, but close enough. And now what I'm going to do, this is a pretty small plant, so I don't want to do too much of a cutback yet. But I do just want to pull a couple of these stalks off, or I'm going to actually cut them. And I'm not looking for anything particular in the stalks in terms of what I think is going to be perfect to grow, because I think pretty much any of them are going to grow. It's a healthy looking plant. So I'm taking more of like a pruning approach to this, where I'm looking for areas where cutting back the plant is going to actually help with like circulation of oxygen and air in the middle, access to sunlight, those kinds of things. So I'm looking for the overgrown sections more than anything. That's the only thing I'm doing to be a little bit careful with. I actually also decided to just pinch it with my fingernail rather than use the clippers into this section here. So that's really it. So I just grabbed 3 small cuttings. Here's what I have. They actually are all about the flower. So I don't know, I might have actually done that wrong. I'm not really sure. We'll see what happens, because I know that having a flower, it takes like a lot of energy from the plant. And this is my first time propagating purslane, so we'll see. And I'm kind of learning on the job here. But similar to other cuttings, all I'm going to do is strip some of these bottom leaves off. I'm going to use this plastic dowel to just poke some holes. I need 3 holes, so I'm going to make a triangle here. And there's hole number 1. Hole number 2. Hole number 3, and then I'm just going to pinch and push down a little bit to compact this area, the mix. around the cutting so that there's nice contact there with the branch. And I'm going to water it in. I'm going to pull whatever that is out. I'm going to water it thoroughly. Watch it drain. Hopefully drain. And that's it. So we'll check on this. I'm going to leave it in an area with dappled sunlight. It is a sun-loving plant, but because these are fresh cuttings, I'm going to keep them out of the burning hot sun for a couple of days, and we'll watch and see how it responds. I can't wait to show you this. Look, this is one day after propagating, and the purslane has already bloomed. So now the bloom was clearly on the propagation piece, fragment that I used, but look at that. In full gorgeous bloom already, just taking a stem and sticking it into the rooting mix. How amazing is that? All right, taking a quick update video here showing the purslane that I had propagated. As you can see, this is the original container with that sand and potting mix mixture and the 3 purslane stalks here. So we're not really looking at very much. It is an unimpressive plant once it's flowered, and I didn't cut back or deadhead it at all. It did flower a couple times, but you can see that not much there. But the real key here with the propagation, so I do want to show you that months later the plants are still alive, first of all. So I do think it just demonstrates that the simple propagation method worked. But I also just want to show you the roots. And so I'm a little afraid to disrupt the plants here and cause any damage to them, but I do want to just give some confidence that this works and that they will develop full-on roots. There you go. Has its own root structure. All I did was cut it off and plant it. I didn't add hormone. I didn't do anything really special. You can see this one too. Has its own rooting structure. The sand clump is kind of heavy, so I'm trying to be delicate. But you can clearly see it has its own roots. And again, not super surprised because they've held down there for at this point a couple of months. But what I'll do is pot these back up now. So I just wanted to show and prove to you after a few months that the propagation method worked. I know a lot of times we don't get to show the results, and so sometimes you're left wondering whether it worked or not. So no wonders there. Propagating purslane is that easy. It does work that simply. And now I'm gonna pot these plants back up, give them some food, and try to really get the growth stimulated. Thanks again for watching.